Hey, what's going on? Another episode of Bottom to the Top Hoops podcast. What's going on? It's your boy E. Jones.
Black Elvis, you already know we in the building.
Yo, man, it's a blessing to be back, man. We got a fresh new topic. Hey, man, L, it's February 1st, and the government has made a decision about our beloved sport of basketball, and we're going to get all into that. However, we got to first thank our sponsors who helped bring this to you and make it possible. Shout them out, L.
Shout out to T-Mobile.
Yes, sir.
Who's been holding us down for pretty much almost the whole run.
Yes, sir, man. Big shout out to Fine Food Cuisine, best takeout in the Bronx. You know how we do. We got something special coming to you. We're going to be doing some food tastings live from Fine Food Cuisine so you guys can see how Chef Al is chefing it up and my man Slice over there making it happen. Who else we got, L?
I'd like to shout out Talk to him, NYC.
Yes, sir. Make sure you reach out to him. Talk to him, NYC, at Instagram. And listen, man, you got apparel needs. You need custom uniforms. You need to get something done in a short period of time. Embroidery, screen print, heat press. They got it done. Check it out, though. They're offering a 25% discount for anybody that says you heard about it from Bottom to the Top Hoops. You mention the name Bottom to the Top Hoops and Talk to them NYC on Instagram. They're going to give you a 25% discount. We bring you the deals through our sponsors, man. Big shout out to Gary at Talk to him NYC for sure.
Absolutely.
Hey, man, who else we got, L?
Big shout out to MMCC, Montefiore.
Yes, sir. And big shout out to the world famous Harlem Wizards. That WizFit challenge is popping. Man, schools they're bringing in money. The kids are staying fit. It's a great thing. It's a win-win across the board. Make sure you reach out to the Harlem Wizards. WizFit at harlemwizards.com. Let's get into it, my brother.
Yes, sir.
We talking about Governor Cuomo, and first and foremost, man, we're almost 1 year into the pandemic. We've lost over 450,000 Americans, and it's a sad day.
Yeah.
It's something that's hit us across the country and across the world. And big shout out to the families and the people who are, suffering and have lost people to this dreaded disease. But at some point, we got to come back safely and in a way where we can kind of get some semblance of normalcy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what we need.
So what is your energy right now? What's your feeling? How you feeling about where we're headed, the new presidency, and how that kind of affects us with the sporting world?
I mean, I'm feeling good all across the board. Very optimistic. You got to feel good about the change. One thing we know is the last president that we did have in office, it wasn't working.
Right.
We were burning bridges with our allies. It was friction within our own country.
Right.
And he was kind of making it a black and white thing. So hopefully now with the new administration, we got a new president, hopefully we can now bring it together.
Well, I'm going to say this, man. It feels like we have a little bit more calm. It feels like we have some structure. It feels like there's a plan in place. So bringing that full circle to basketball, I think people are more apt to opening things up because they can see the direction we're headed in. And it's not just a whim and saying we're going to play just to play. They're saying, these are the protocols we're going to put in place. This is where we're headed. These are where we want to see the numbers at. When they break these thresholds, we got to slow it back down. And we got to kind of put the clamps on it. So Governor Cuomo, for those of you who don't know, made an announcement that on February 1st, New York State can resume what they call high-risk sports, basketball being one of them, that includes competition, contact, games and such. And we've been limited and relegated to practice prior to that and workouts. So do you think this is a good idea, Al? Do you think it's something that's safe to do? You think the timing is right? How do you feel about it?
I mean, I'm up in the air with it because, I understand that we have to give our children something. They're not going into school, which is a commute, which is interacting with people, you know what I mean? And now it's like, you know, they get an opportunity, and now Cuomo's talking about opening up. It's almost like I have to almost co-sign it, because one thing I know for a fact is these kids need to be doing something.
I'm going to give you a perspective. First of all, big shout out to Cuomo, man, because they're allowing indoor dining on Valentine's Day. But one of the big things about it is I feel like Cuomo, with respect to just the pandemic and how he's handled it, he's always trusted the science. He's always been very transparent in his communication. He's been effective. And the biggest thing is he's been consistent. There's always a voice coming from the governor's office, and you don't got to look too far for an announcement or what's coming down the pipe, and goals for getting the numbers down, and then giving you information on best practices and healthy habits and all of those things. So if I could say this, if there was a politician that I could choose to kind of lead the charge for all of the governors, I would choose Cuomo, because he had a strong voice. And if he's feeling like it's safe, I actually trust, you know, the direction he's going to go in. So I'm okay with it. You know?
Got you.
Now, here's the caveat to it, Al. You're in the Bronx. I'm here in the Bronx right now filming. And that ruling does not affect the kids in New York City. So he's giving way to the county officials to be able to make a judgment call on their specific counties. So there's places in Queens, there's places in the Bronx that numbers are still spiking and they're still really high. So he's saying, I'm gonna, you know, give you guys the autonomy to make the decision based on what you feel is safe. The state's open. I don't want to hold everybody back, because some people are doing a good job. Some people's numbers are lower. Some people aren't as high a risk. So let those kids be active. But if you got spikes, as with New York City, you know, that's on de Blasio now.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. I mean, even with the spikes, and even though we all understand, the only way to truly get control of COVID-19 is we have to quarantine, meaning even people who don't have it, if we all stay in, those people who are sick will get an opportunity to quarantine. And then but how can we do this when there's other states who's literally open?
It seems like a mishmash, and I don't know that there's one right answer to your point. I think that what the president is doing, he's put a clear directive out to say 100 vaccines, 100 million vaccines, and excuse me, let me get this right. He wants to do 100 million vaccines in 100 days, right?
Yeah.
So he wants to get 100 million people vaccinated within the next 100 days.
Gotcha.
So that being said, you know, that's 1/3 of the country's population. So by summertime, he's saying he wants to have 2/3 of the population. You know what I mean? So you figure the other 1/3 is already have it and they have immunity. So by summertime, hopefully we can just be in a better space. I don't want to say fully open, because I don't think that's realistic, but I think that's the only thing you can do, because it's so rampant. And to pull it back right now, it's just challenging, you know what I mean? Because of the economy, how much debt we've incurred. It's just so many different factors that play into it.
I get it.
So circling back to how this is going to affect the basketball piece of it, Long Island's open, Westchester's open. They've started practices. As of today,
it's crazy.
They could go out and play games. So I'm assuming.
But how does that affect us in the tri-state area? I'm talking about New York State. It doesn't help the numbers go down if we're trying to get them under control, but now we're opening up. I don't understand. It's like almost a contradiction within the same sentence.
Well, this is what I don't know. I don't know what the capacity of the games are. I don't know what the practices in terms of protocols that they're putting in place. I don't know if there's fans. I don't know if they're requiring players to wear masks. OSL played against a game against Covenant College Prep. Big shout out to Covenant College Prep over in Neptune, New Jersey. Every kid on their team played in masks.
Wow.
Yeah. So, there's ways to practice, I guess, preventative measures without completely just being shut down. Because shut down is the only real way to prevent spread. But
Yeah.
if you want to meet in the middle ground, you got sanitizer close, social distance of the players and coaches and all spectators required to wear masks, 25% capacity of the gym. I'm just thinking of the things that could promote a healthy environment for kids to be able to participate and not further spread. Because on one given night, it's scary to think we got 40 games going on in Long Island, which is, call it 10 kids a team, 800 kids participating, one parent per kid. You get the numbers right there.
Absolutely.
So I know that they're going to be a real, a watchful eye on what happens with regards to after basketball opens up. Because, once it's open up, and then especially in the city, it could be 100 games on one day, Al.
Absolutely.
Freshman, JV, varsity, Catholic school, private school, PSAL, prep. One thing about this city, we ain't short of games, never.
Absolutely.
Big shout out to all of the referees who's about to get that chicken again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so let me ask you this. How do you feel personally, just personally, about the vaccine?
Well, that's a loaded question, Al.
I'm sure people want to hear your opinion on it.
Well, here's what I can say. It's a matter of personal preference, and before you take anything from a health perspective, you have to do the homework. And you have to know what's in the vaccine and what they're putting into it. So you got to do the research. That's first. Secondly, you have to weigh out whether the vaccine and the potential side effects and the risk that you're taking it outweighs the fact that maybe you're at risk going in and you may be better served for having taken the vaccine as opposed to not. So I think there is risk reward on either side. I think it depends on the individual. I'm going to be honest and say I'm uncertain about what I'm going to do at this point. I feel like I just want to practice healthy habits and make sure that, I'm fully aware of whatever decision I make. And I would encourage everybody who is considering it to do a boatload of research and make sure whatever decision you make, it's supported by information and not just by a thought, a feeling, an emotion, or what somebody else tells you. Because you can believe, something that's well read, well researched, and at the end of the day, you just come up with the best answer you can. So that's a politically correct answer, LFC, me saying I don't know.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, I know some people who I've spoken to that are nurses who've taken it, and they were a part of the research team, and they also spoke to the fact that there are side effects and there are downsides to it, but they believe in the research, and they're on the front line, and they say they got to be kind of feel safer going and performing their job, and they're in a real precarious situation. So I take my hats off to the frontline workers, all of the frontline workers who are risking their lives so we can live ours. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, my opinion to it is, doctors have proven and said it. It's documented. if you build your immune system, then you don't need a vaccine, just like with the flu. If you build your immune system, you know, and take certain vitamins, vitamin D, vitamin C, you know, a lot of us don't get vitamin D if we're not outside, especially people in the urban areas. They just are not conscious to go in the store and cop vitamin D.
Right.
But it really helps your immune system. So, you know, that's just a little information for some of our listeners. You know, a lot of people are worried and scared. You know, no, the key to this is building your immune system. When you look at the people who's truly been affected, they all had underlying ailments. So, I mean, when you step back and look at the reality in it, and then they're saying how bad it hit the urban communities, well, we're the ones who's eating fast food. We're the ones who's not exercising. You know what I'm saying? We're the ones who's not getting proper rest. So it's going to affect us differently than it affects every other culture. Plus, for the most part, just to end it off, when you look at a lot of other cultures, do they live on top of each other like we do in the urban areas? So how could you avoid people? How could you avoid
human contact?
The contact when, you know, there's 700 people touching that same doorknob in one day.
Very, very good point, man. So I know the people, big shout out to Juice for Life over in Castle Hill, Sea Moss, Elderberry, giving out the good stuff, you know, plant-based.
Spirulina.
Yeah, man. And
chlorophyll.
So here's what I can say to your point, Ellen. That was very, very well said. I haven't been sick since the pandemic, and that's been just under a year, not once. You know, to God be the glory. And I can say I was one of the people who was less conscious of hand washing, being conscious of touching doorknobs. I might leave out of a bathroom and grab the knob. Now I'll grab a tissue and then grab the knob and throw the tissue away. I might, if I don't have a tissue, I might use my sleeve and grab it with my sleeve. So I don't touch a doorknob, then touch my face. So these are germs. You know, I keep my distance from people. I'm wearing a mask all the time. Not some of the time, all the time. So if I haven't gotten sick in a year and I've practiced these habits that have kept me safe, I'm going to say to your point, El, I'm living proof. And I may have had COVID. I've tested negative twice, and I may have the antibodies. I don't know. I have to get tested again. And FYI, they are selling over-the-counter COVID tests that you can order online. I'm going to get you guys the information of the website on an upcoming podcast, and it's $25 where you can order your own at-home COVID test. So to that point, man, you practice healthy habits, build your immune, like you said, and you know it could be beneficial for you in terms of fighting off this dreaded disease. And guess what? As you're doing those things, exercising, getting vitamin D, you're seeing your body start to take shape. You're seeing yourself start to feel better, have more energy. You know, the diabetes, the hypertension, the high blood pressure, the sugar, all of those things start to not be as prevalent because you're taking better care of yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I think we've delved into a lot of things in terms of health and the vaccine and all of those things, which I think is all relevant to where we are now. Hopefully you guys took away some great information. Thank you to our new sponsor, Talk to 'em NYC. Make sure you check them out. Mention Bottom to the Top Hoops. Get that 25% discount. Big shout out to T-Mobile, Harlem Wizards, MMCC, and Fine Food Cuisine. You got any last words, El?
You already know. I want to give out some shout outs, man. Shout out to that whole staff, that whole team of Decisions. We're about to be putting that back out soon. Decisions web series that we've been doing.
I gotta jump in the scene, bro.
You Gucci, I got you.
Cool. I'm sorry.
You know, no, it's all good. But I want to just shout out my boys who's been helping me as far as with the music, like Damon Haywood, Jimmy Kendricks. got a new addition now. My man Sap.
Yes, sir.
About to step this production game up.
Yes, sir.
He got that glass.
Shout out to Sap for sure.
Shout out Darnell Lee. Like you said, shout out Talk to Him, man, doing great things, man. Shout out to Off the Grid. Off the Grid is a high school football show. The same way we felt the need, to create this platform for basketball. We've discussed it, never really did it. Then these guys really stepped to me about actually doing it. So shout out to them. Shout out to Boo, the commish. Shout out to Rowdy. Shout out to D-Dub. Man, we're just trying to create content, solid content for viewers.
Yeah, man. And big shout out to Pop Jennings. And big shout out to the doc, Dr. Doug.
Dr. Doug Wilcox.
Yes, sir.
Got a lot of good people coming in trying to help us as far as sponsorship. It's just as far as, just helping us enhance the platform. So I just want to thank the viewers and, thank our supporters for always chiming in. God bless, man.
And they said, L, make sure you turn on those comments, man. I want
Yo, you see that? I keep getting them hits. Yo, why you ain't got the comments on?
Yo, we have 16,000 subscribers, man. Make sure you check us out. YouTube, Spotify, Apple TV, bcomtv.com. Shout out to the team, D Jones, Jerry Ice. Yo, man, we appreciate y'all. You got the last word, brother.
Shout out to the man upstairs who makes this all happen, brother.